Shalom. All praises unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachar Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rachar Kodash. Now this is a clip hit from the director of Mad Max, because I was checking the Mad Max timeline, from the movie Mad Max with Mel Gibson. And, basically the movies goes into anarchy in society, basically. All right. Anarchy in society. And I believe the third one is basically post-nuclear war. But in the first few, because I was going into the timeline, the first few is basically going into the war in that took place between Iran and Iraq, and how, the oil reserves became short in Australia, and how chaos began. So I wanted to play this clip here from what the director says, because, basically we know that anarchy will come in society. We know that Esau's going to stop things, because we know he's going to come with that MOTB at some point, which is the mark. We know he's going to release that and force that on the world, basically, But also, and we know you're going to have to use that mark to get things like petrol, food, whatever it is you need. You're going to have to use the mark to get it. If you don't have the mark, you're basically pretty much banished from society. You can't function. So Esau, basically will take things away from you. But in this clip, it just shows you there was a lack of petrol, and the director's going to tell you what happened. But it just shows you when society starts lacking in things, the people turn on each other. What happened during the first COVID shutdowns? What happened? People was in the shopping centers, people was in the shopping centers going at it with each other, man, in the first lockdowns, over what toilet paper and stuff like that. People was in and that was all a trial run, but people were losing it. So let me play this here, and then I'm going to read some scriptures.
The movie, but the actual prop used in the movie shows exactly that year. Okay, so now we can assume that Mad Max takes place in the mid-'80s, but what about the backstory? What happened to the world? Well, there is no backstory, really. At the time of writing Mad Max, the movie was supposed to be a contemporary movie, so they really didn't give it any kind of special backstory at all. However, the creators were directly inspired by the 1973 oil crisis that reached Australia. And this was a real event which George Miller and Byron Kennedy saw with their own eyes, and they saw what fuel shortage did to the society and how quickly people turned against each other.
I remember very well that there was big restriction in Melbourne, and there were only a few petrol stations where only emergency services, nurses, ambulance drivers, police could get petrol. And in such a sedate, calm city as Melbourne, it took 10 days before the first shot was fired. And I wondered what would happen if it was 10 years.
And so they used that real event as an inspiration for the fuel shortage and anarchy in Mad Max. But other than that, there is really no backstory or world building.
So he basically pretty much took that's how he got the inspiration, one of the inspirations for that movie. All right. He saw with his own eyes Melbourne, like you said, Melbourne, a sedate city like Melbourne, descended into chaos after 10 days of a lack of petrol. All right. And he said the first shot was fired. So it just shows you how quickly people will turn on each other, man. What does it say? For lack of bread. I'm going to read it in the scripture, but for lack of bread, people will rifle their houses, man. And that's basically what's getting ready to happen now. And it's all done by design, all right? When things are lacking in society, it's all done by design to sway the people where they want them to go, basically. When anarchy, what do the elites want? What do we always bring out? Order out of chaos. When anarchy is in the society, then they come with the solutions. So they're going to start taking things away from people, then bring that solution, which we know is the MOTB. So this is 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Here, woe to the world. Woe means destruction. All right. And them that dwell therein, meaning the people of this world, man. The 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, that don't believe in the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the heathens, the so-called white man, all the other nations, woe to them, destruction unto them. If you believe in this society, judgment's going to come to you, basically. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And the sword is going to come in the form of what? Nuclear missiles. The sword is also going to come in the form of a man, the so-called white man. He's a sword. And I'm going to read that. He's a sword of the Lord. He's a vessel the Lord has created as a weapon to punish the children of Israel, to punish you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and the other nations. The Lord, Esau is the sword of the Lord, basically. All right. One of the swords of the Lord. All right. So it says, for the sword and their destruction, he's going to come with these martial law troops. He's going to come with military troops, military police. It's already happening out there in New York. What's going on in New York? You got the actual military out there in the subways. The military are on the subways. What is the military doing out there in the subways, man? All right. It's basically pretty much martial law, but it's going to get even worse. All right. So it says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, there's going to be people going at it with each other, man. Different races of people, so-called whites against so-called blacks, so-called whites against so-called Latinos. Basically, Israel against the other nations, so-called Negroes against against East Indians. People are going to stand up and fight against one another. Because even I saw it a few years back during the sea thing, the first lockdowns, the Moabites in America, like Moab and Ammon, Americanized Moabites and Ammonites, they were stocking up on guns, man. And they weren't the only people. Every nation that lives in America was stocking. I think the first lockdown, they were stocking up on guns. So they were hoarding. People have been hoarding weapons for years, knowing these kind of things are going to happen. All right. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Yeah, there shall be sedition among men. All right. And invading one another. So people are going to be invading each other for lack of what? For lack of things, man. There's going to be lack of petrol. People are going to be breaking in people's houses, breaking into people's cars. Maybe this person's got petrol stored. Maybe this person's got food stored. Maybe this person's got a loaf of bread. Maybe this person's got gold shillings. No, people are going to lose it, basically. They're going to get into survival mode. All right. And this is primarily in America, which is Babylon the Great. But hey, all over the world, these things are going to take place, man. So it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They shall not regard that, meaning people ain't going to care what the government, when it gets to this kind of limit, the general population, they're not going to care what the government thinks. They show you that out in Paris. In Paris, they were actually attacking politicians' houses, all right, out there in Paris. See? Why? Because they're fed up. The people were getting fed up with the laws that were the oppression that they're going through over there. So they were starting to take it out on their politicians, finding where they live and stuff. And that's going to take place. So not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Yeah, because they're going to be blocked. Cities are going to be blocked off. All right. You can't go from one place to another. You're going to have to remain pretty much where you were, in the anarchy. All right. And in that time, the brothers that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and their families, Lord willing, will have that protection hedge in that time. We don't know, we don't know how everything's going to be, but the Lord is going to guide the ones that believe in him. If you believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, the Lord's going to guide you, man, to do to make it through these things. So it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And that's what, and why? Because the Lord's bringing all this judgment on the earth because of what? He just said, the Lord mentioned one thing there, the pride, man. The pride of this planet, the pride of the people of the earth is sky high, man. Because who? The most proud is ruling. Who's the most proud? The Edomites, the so-called white man. Beginning with the so-called Jews, all right? They're top families. That's who's ruling the earth, and they're the ultimate. They're They're the ultimate proud nation, and they push that on everyone. So you see that in these cities when you do your day-to-day chores, the immense pride on the men, the women, of this society. They're just proud, man. So there's gonna be judgment brought upon people, man. All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with a sword and spoil their goods. All right. It says, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. And that's what's getting ready to happen. People are gonna not have pity on their neighbors. Not that they have it now anyway. That whole spirit of neighborly love, that's long gone. So a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? So that means next door neighbors are only breaking into each other's houses, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Why? Because there's going to be a scarcity of food. There's going to be a scarcity of food, of petrol, of all sorts, man. All right. A scarcity of basically where the amenities of society is going to start lacking at some point, and it's going to cause people to descend into chaos. All right, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, because great tribulation is going to be here on earth. All right, before the Lord returns, he's going to allow all hell to break loose on the planet Earth, which is already beginning. Okay, so this is Revelation. Let me read this here. Revelation 12 and 12. All right, and who's the Lord using to do all this? The so-called white man. All right, the Edomite elites, because he's bringing them down. So before he brings them down, they're gonna go buck wild, man. Revelation 12 and 12. And then, and everyone else, like, for example, when Esau goes crazy, you're going to have Edomites that ain't with their own government. They're going to lose it. Then all the nations in between, they're going to lose it. Then you're going to have the 2/3 of our people, they're going to lose it. So, and we know in America, which is Babylon the Great, most of the households, they possess guns. Most of the household possess guns, man. So Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right. Who's the devil? The devil is the so-called white man, the nation of Edom. And they're going to come down in these last days with great wrath, man. All right. They're going to enforce, they want to bring in their new old order. So they're going to enforce that. All right. And while these things are taking place where there's going to be a scarcity of things on the earth, people are going to go crazy. So Esau is going to have his troops to enforce that. But people are also going to be fighting against Esau's troops also. But he's going to come down with great wrath, man. He's going to show you why he's known as the sword of the Lord, man. And the violent man, all right, which is the Edomites. So it says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth. That's all these people, man. The 2/3 of you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, all these other nations, even their own. Esau's even going to destroy his own kind, man, when he brings this chaos. All right, which is all ultimately from the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He's orchestrating it all. All right. So woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Exactly. Because the elites of Edom know their time is short, man. All right. And that the Lord's coming to destroy them. They know that. And this nuclear war is going to take place, man. I mean, you can look at these people in this society, man. Just doing their day-to-day BS, going to do their 9-to-5s, just goyim, man. You see them, just all people, they're proud, they're filled with pride. Then people are filled with all these demons on them. They're depressed. They all look sick. All these people just like walking around, waiting to be nuked, man. Just waiting to be nuked. You can see it. They ain't got a clue what's going on. Most of these people you see in society, they're not alert. So you can see these people when all hell breaks loose, just the society descending into chaos. You can see that, man. This is Psalms, but Lord willing, brothers that, us that believe we're going to be delivered from these situations, This is Psalm 17 and 13. It says, Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword, all right? So yeah, this was King David, prophesying, all right? Who's the wicked? Who's the wicked? It's the so-called white man, the Edomites. So disappoint him, cast him down. Arise, Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, bring these Edomites down. Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right? And that's what we're waiting for. We're basically waiting to be delivered from the wicked, all right? Which is the sword of the Lord, which is these Edomites. Because all hell is going to break loose on the earth, man. And the only way to get out of it is through Yahweh Shai saving you, man. And that's only reserved for the children of Israel, not for anyone else. So that's what we're asking the Lord, man. So it says, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. As for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Yeah, because it says, from men which are thy hand, all right, which is these Edomite elites, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life. Yeah, because they're the rulers of this world. You see, they have the substance of this society, man. They own everything, basically. I mean, this is another topic, but I mean, that's the point. Basically, we need to be delivered from these Edomites, from in particular the hand of these international bankers, man, when all this hell breaks loose. But you heard what we said this for years, like the world's going to become like post-apocalyptic, chaos will break loose. There'll be military men at the train stations. That's happening now, man. All right. And you heard what that director of the movie Mad Max said. And these directors, like we say, they read the Bible, they get inspiration from the Bible. They look up history. So he said his inspiration for the movie was a real life event when there was a lack of petrol in the world during the conflict between Iran and Iraq. And he saw Melbourne, Australia descend into chaos. So, these things are getting ready to happen. So, with that, I'm going to say all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching this word. Shalom, Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kodash. Shalom, shalom.